Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about my must-own quarterbacks for fantasy football in 2021. Inside today's video, I'm going to be going over 4 quarterbacks that I believe, based upon where they are going at their current average draft positions, are must-own quarterbacks. But before we get on in to the breakdown of these quarterbacks, I would like to ask, if you are new to the YouTube channel and you do end up enjoying today's video, you make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Not only is it free, me and the other guys at the Awesemo Fantasy Football YouTube channel put out content every single day to help you guys win your 2021 Fantasy Football Championship. And while you're down there, please make sure to hit that like button down below to help boost this video up the algorithm so that more beautiful people like yourself can see today's video. So without further ado, let's get in onto the video. The first quarterback to be talking about today is quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, Mr. Discount Double Check, Aaron Rodgers. Now, going into the offseason, Aaron Rodgers was probably the most talked about player all offseason long, and then eventually he reached the deal with the Green Bay Packers that he was going to stay for at least one more season, and that was music to everyone's ears. Right now, Aaron Rodgers is coming off the board as the quarterback number 8 on Underdog, overall pick 83.50, so you can get Aaron Rodgers right now inside of the 7th round. Now, the biggest downside to Aaron Rodgers, and probably the reason why a lot of people are steering away from him, moving his ADP down to quarterback 8, is because he's not the Konami quarterback that a lot of people talk about. The Konami quarterback is basically a quarterback that has rushing upside. Aaron Rodgers does not have very much rushing upside at all. Now, can he rush a touchdown? Can he run the ball a little bit in the games? 100%, but he's not going to go out there like Lamar Jackson, put some DB in a fucking spin cycle, and then rush in a touchdown. That's just not what Aaron Rodgers is. But to me, the Konami quarterback kind of thought process to me is a little bit stupid because, you know, who cares if he can rush the ball if he has the potential to throw for 50 touchdowns or throw for 5,000 yards like Aaron Rodgers can, right? To me, that doesn't really matter at all. So I believe that Aaron Rodgers could easily be the number 1 overall quarterback in fantasy football, and he's coming off the board at quarterback number 8. Last year, in 16 games, he finished as the quarterback 2 in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues and the quarterback number 1 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. He averaged 23.9 4-point per passing touchdown points per game and 29.9 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. From points per game perspective, he was the quarterback 5 in 4-point and the quarterback 3 in 6-point. Why is Aaron Rodgers so good? Well, because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, because he has Davante Adams, and because this offense is just going to be good yet again. Every single year, the Green Bay Packers offense is really fucking good. Last year, Aaron Rodgers threw the ball 525 times, 32.8 per game, ranking just 13th at the quarterback position, turning that into 4,292 passing yards, 268.2 per game, ranking 7th at quarterback, as well as throwing 48 passing touchdowns, 9.1% rate, ranking number 1 at the quarterback position, as well as just throwing 5 interceptions. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be pointing to regression in Aaron Rodgers' touchdown number, which I agree with, right? It's going to be very hard for him to throw a passing touchdown 9.1% of the time. That is very, very unlikely. But even if it was to go down, maybe it falls to 7, maybe it falls to 5%, the guy's still probably going to throw 35 plus passing touchdowns, probably going to throw for over 4,000 passing yards, and is probably going to throw a very low number of interceptions. So even with the regression, the fact that he's coming off the board as quarterback number 8, to me, just seems a little bit fucking insulting for the guy who just won the MVP of the NFL. To me, it really is. Davante Adams is going to be fed. They bring in all these other wide receivers to appease Aaron Rodgers, like Randall Cobb is there, but in reality, who gives a rat's ass about the other wide receivers that are there? In reality, it doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers will make these other wide receivers play just fine, and Rodgers is yet again going to have a good season. I just don't understand why he's coming off the board as quarterback number 8. Now, I understand that 9.1% passing touchdown rate is nearly impossible to, have in back-to-back seasons. But if anyone could do it, it would probably be one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Aaron Rodgers. So go ahead this year and get very excited, get fired up to be drafting Mr. Discount Double Check inside of the 7th, 8th, 9th round in a lot of leagues. Next up, we have the second must-own quarterback. But before we learn about who the second must-own quarterback is, I would like to let you guys know that football season is right around the corner, and Underdog is offering the biggest best ball tournament in history with a 3 $3.5 million prize pool and over $1 million going to first place. Tune into our shows to get up-to-date NFL news and underdog tips straight from our analysts. Deposit now. Use promo code Awesemo to get a free $25. Start your football season right and start it right now with Underdog. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out Underdog Fantasy. Promo code is right here. Also will be linked down below in the description. So my quarterback number 2 that I want to be talking about today, my must-own quarterback number 2 is Matthew Stafford, quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams. Current underdog ADP, quarterback number 13 off of the board. Overall pick 114.30. Mr. Stafford is coming off the board inside of the 10th round. Now, I understand Matthew Stafford struggled last season. In 16 games, he was just quarterback 16 in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues and quarterback 15 in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues, averaging 16.3 4-point per passing touchdown points per game and 19.5 in 6-point. From a points per game perspective, he was the quarterback 23 in 4-point and 21 in 6-point. So obviously last season, he put up a stinker of a season. Normally, regardless of how bad the Detroit Lions offense is, Matthew Stafford is able to elevate himself with Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones being there. But Kenny Golladay missed a majority of the season. Marvin Jones obviously stepped up. But besides that, they didn't really have too many weapons. Obviously, having TJ Hawkinson as well. But things basically just went all wrong for Matthew Stafford last season. But now he has been traded to the LA Rams, a team that is stacked to the gills with talent. Obviously, Cam Akers ended up getting hurt. But they still have Darrell Henderson in his place, who's a pretty solid running back. Their wide receiver core is headlined by Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. They still have other depth wide receivers. They also have Tyler Higbee at tight end. This is a team that I expect to be very good this season. A team that I believe could win the Lombardi Trophy, that can win the Super Bowl. And quarterback Matthew Stafford, I understand, again, he did have a down year last year. I'm going to read off his stats. They were not the best at all for what Matthew Stafford normally puts up. He had 528 passing attempts, 33 per game, ranking 12th at quarterback for 4,084 passing yards, 255.2 per game, ranking 12th at quarterback for just 26 passing touchdowns, 12th at quarterback, and 10 INTs. Now, again, he didn't have a terrible season, but for what you expect out of Matthew Stafford, things weren't looking the best. But if you guys remember back to the 2019 season when Matthew Stafford played in just 8 games, I mind you, this guy with real wide receivers there, with Golladay healthy, he was on fire. 291 passing attempts for 2,499 passing yards and 19 touchdowns. So, you do some math, you multiply that shit by 2, he almost throws 40 touchdowns if he played the whole season, almost throws for 5,000 passing yards. Matthew Stafford is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and he barely gets anyone to talk about him. No one talks about how good Matthew Stafford really is, and I want to continue to implant this into your heads that Matthew Stafford is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. This move to LA, to the Rams, is going to skyrocket his fantasy value. Coming off the board at quarterback 13 is insane. He should easily be coming off the board as a top 10 quarterback, as I believe Matthew Stafford has top 5 potential in 2021 with the LA Rams. Next up, we have quarterback of the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields, current underdog ADP, quarterback 15 off of the board. Overall pick 125.60 in the 11th round. Now, in best ball formats, Justin Fields on underdog goes a lot higher than I've seen him go in a lot of those Yahoo, NFL, CBS, mock drafts, ESPN that you can do, because in best ball he just has more value because, you're already drafting like 3 quarterbacks. You're already drafting 2 quarterbacks. Whereas in 1 quarterback leagues, sometimes normal redraft, people just like to draft 1 quarterback. So Justin Fields falls a lot further in those drafts. So I believe that Justin Fields is, if you're going to draft 2 quarterbacks, he is the perfect quarterback too. Because while week 1, I highly doubt they are going to roll this guy out, right? I highly doubt week 1, Justin Fields will get the nod to be the starter. But I would assume at least half of the season this year is played by Justin Fields. Now, Andy Dalton basically made he did a huge big dick move. Big Dick Dalton over there asserted his dominance over everyone, over Justin Fields. He's like, this is my team. I am the quarterback of this team. Justin Fields is great, but he can wait. That was hilarious. And that was some rhymes right there. Straight bars, Slim Shady type deal from how I recapped that. So, come on. No one really thinks that Andy Dalton's going to be the guy for a very long time. It may not even be like week 2, he may be the starter. Andy Dalton may get absolutely destroyed week 1, play like absolute shit, and then Justin Fields becomes the guy. We saw in week 1 of preseason, while it wasn't up against the best defense in the NFL, right? He's playing up against the Dolphins, who have a good defense, but it wasn't the Dolphins, first team. It was not. It was the backup Dolphin defense. So he played pretty good there. He did make one terrible fumble, but after that, he ran in a touchdown, threw a touchdown. He looked very, very good. And I believe if he is given the chance to lead this team to be the number 1 quarterback on the team, he has top 10 potential, especially with that rushing upside, which everyone genuinely likes to point to. But the first 2 quarterbacks we talked about here, Stafford and Rodgers, don't really have that much rushing upside, but they're just so fucking good normally that it doesn't even matter. Last year at The Ohio State University, at the age of 22, playing in just 8 games, Mr. Justin Fields threw the ball 225 times for 2,100 passing yards, 9.3 yards per attempt, 70.2% completion percentage, 22 passing touchdowns to just 6 INTs, and 383 rushing yards. Justin Fields played very, very good, and I expect him at the NFL level to be very good. The weapons there in Chicago are chef's kiss, beautiful for what we could potentially see in Justin Fields, with Allen Robinson, with Darnell Mooney, with David Montgomery. There's a lot of solid pieces on this offense, especially Allen Robinson being the kind of a guy that always puts up big numbers regardless of the quarterback. Justin Fields is going to see that Allen Robinson is a big man who can catch every single ball you throw his way. Just put it anywhere near him, and he's going to grab it. He's been snagging balls that were nowhere near him from Blake Bortles, 9-inch Nick Foles, as Mitch Trubisky. So don't expect that once Fields gets into the game that things are going to be any different. Robinson is a huge target. Justin Fields is going to be great this year. We just got to hope that Matt Nagy realizes that he needs to play Justin Fields. That's about all we need, and Justin Fields does have that top 10 potential in 2021. From a points per game perspective, I would say, because if he doesn't start until like week 6, then there's really going to be no way that he finishes as a technical top 10 quarterback. But before we break down the 4th and final quarterback in this video, I'd like to let you guys know that we have a brand new YouTube channel for sports betting. If you love what we do on the DFS side of things, you love what we're doing here on the Fantasy Football YouTube channel, then you're going to want to go ahead and subscribe to the Awesemo Odds channel. You can find the link in the description to this video. So go ahead, subscribe now, turn the notification bell on, and enjoy what we have in store for sports betting content. If you want to check out some other free content, you can check out our rankings in front of the paywall on the Awesemo.com Fantasy Football tab. And for sports betting, you can check out the Awesemo Odds tab for access to the Odds Shopper, MLB betting tools, which include our sports betting model and our player props tool. So back in on it. Make sure you guys check that stuff out. Final quarterback to be discussing today is quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, underdog ADP quarterback, 18 off of the board right now. Overall pick 144.20. He's a 12th round pick right now. 12th round pick. Now, I understand that Tua didn't have the greatest of rookie seasons, right? And Tua was playing a completely different game to what I believe he is going to be playing in 2021. Sure, it's still football, still on the gridiron, but last year, Tua was playing scared. He was playing like Ryan Fitzpatrick was sniffing right up his ass to take his job. That's exactly what was happening. He was trying to play it safe. He wasn't trying to make any rash decisions. He wasn't trying to go aggressively down the field. He was trying to just make sure that the Dolphins didn't lose the game by him not making any mistakes. That's how he was playing. But now we can see in preseason very clearly from the first game and from training camp that with Chan Gailey out of there in Miami, that Tua is now much more aggressive. The play calls are much more aggressive. Tua is taking shots deep down the field, and the left hand, Tua, the left-handed quarterback, he can hit those people deep down the field. They bring in Jalen Waddle via the draft. They bring in Will Fuller, Sir Will Fuller V, for Tua. This team is now built upon being more aggressive, and Tua has looked very, very good. Now, I understand that he did throw an interception in practice. That was one of the stupidest throws I've ever seen, not in practice, in preseason. It was stupid. I don't know why the fuck he threw the ball there, but it is what it is. He's trying to be more aggressive, and at least it shows us that. He looked very, very good. Besides that, I expect him to look very, very good this weekend in preseason. Last year in 10 games, he was the quarterback 31 in 4-point, quarterback 30 in 6-point. He only started 8 of those 10 games, averaging 13.5 4-point per passing touchdown points per game and 15.7 in 6-point. From a points per game perspective, he was quarterback 31 in 4-point and 31 in 6-point. Now, I understand that those numbers are not going to make you go out and want to draft Tua Tagovailoa, but to me, what will make you want to draft Tua is the immense amount of upside with a loaded offense, with a new offensive coordinator, with the fact that they're going to be more aggressive with the football, and the rushing upside that comes with Tua Tagovailoa. Last year, 290 passing attempts, 1,814 passing yards, 64.1% completion percentage, just a 6.3 yards per attempt. You better expect that to go skyrocket up this season. 109 rushing yards, 11 passing touchdowns. So again, he wasn't amazing, but we did see spots during last season where Tua looked very good. For instance, up against the Arizona Cardinals, he was in a battle, a duel with him. It was him versus Kyler. Up against the Chiefs, him versus Mahomes. Now, they didn't end up beating the Chiefs, but it was a very good game, and I believe that we're going to see a lot more of the good versus the bad that we saw last year with Tua Tagovailoa. So he is my final must-own quarterback for fantasy football in 2021. So if you did end up enjoying this video, please make sure that you hit that like button down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, and make sure that if you guys are going to plan to be along all season for NFL DFS, make sure that you grab the early bird Awesemo Plus NFL annual pass right now because it is just 25% off with promo code BLITZ. Make sure that you guys check that out. Make sure that you follow me on Twitter at NotoriousFNTSY, at NotoriousFNTSY. I love each and every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for the support you have been showing to this channel. We are almost at 10,000 subscribers, and we better hit that by kickoff. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you have any comments, concerns, anything about any of these players. I'd love to talk to you guys down below in the comments. Love you guys so much. Thank you for everything, as always. Goodbye.